There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks, welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonkō Table. That is the voice of GrandMaster Hoop here at the helms, and we are traveling light years ahead in space to discuss Lightyear, as my man did it in the movie. I like him, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. But either way, yes, we're tackling Lightyear, the new Pixar movie that just hit, and it is the spinoff of the Toy Story franchise, and it is focusing on the titular character Buzz Lightyear and the movie that Andy saw when he was a kid that formed the basis of the toy. That's what we're discussing today. With me, as always, is fellow Yonkō, DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney. Took us a while to get here. We're a little late to the show. Was it worth being late? Did we miss anything, or was this a pass? What do you think, real quick?
The movie was fine. Was it a pass? I mean, I still would have wanted to watch it. Just, bare minimum. Get my feet wet, see what all the hype is. But they made this movie before. I don't know. I think they made this movie before, but I still think it's worth a watch just to check your brain in at the door and just enjoy it for what it is. But it has problems, and they're big problems. But we'll get into it. So I'm a bit on the mixed side overall with the movie.
We sure will. People forgot as far as what constitutes a Toy Story spinoff. This is not our first foray, but we're going to get into it in all the layers presented here in the film Lightyear. But we're not alone in this venture. Let's see which Supernovas will be joining us today to discuss. All right, let's get into it. First things first, it's the 26th film in Pixar. It is not the first sequel / spinoff, but we hold Pixar in a really high regard as far as quality of film that can come out of Pixar. And with that said, Pixar's been kind of in the last decade or so, Pixar has been somewhat of a roller coaster as far as what we were given and whether or not we take to it. I just want to probe the room right now. When is Pixar at its best for y'all? Are you more of the original idea Pixar fan, or do you vibe with the Pixar sequels? This one is an interesting movie, but Lightyear being more of a spinoff. I would definitely call this more of a spinoff than a sequel. But where do y'all stand with Pixar? What do you prefer? Because this could, factor into our conversation as we go in more into this film. But where do y'all stand? I just want to probe before we really get into this nitty gritty.
I think they're at their best with original ideas. In the last maybe 5-6 years or so, we've seen Pixar kind of dabble into the whole sequel craze, where they would tackle some of their old movies like Finding Dory, Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2. And while those movies are fine on their own, they just kind of make you want to watch the original instead because they're just far superior. And at least with Toy Story, there was no reason to make a Toy Story 4. But we're not here to talk about Toy Story 4. We're not here to talk about. We're not here. We are not here to talk about Toy Story 4. But our Pixar tier list is around the corner, and that is the time to talk about Toy Story 4. But yeah, I think they're at their best with their original ideas. In recent memory, Turning Red was really good. Oh God, what was some of their other ones? Onward was pretty fine. I thought Onward was fine. It was fine.
Save it for the tier list.
It was fine. I like original ideas from Disney, from Pixar. I think they're at their best at this, and they should continue to do that. And I think that's their mentality going forward for the next couple of years. They said they're not going to do sequels for a long while. And that kind of goes back to what you said, a couple minutes ago. This is not necessarily a sequel with Lightyear. In a way, it kind of is an original idea in the sense that they're taking a character from Toy Story and they're basically making a mythos around them. They kind of copy and pasted some of that mythos from another source, but it's a theatrical original idea of a character that's established from another set of movies. So that's where I stand with it. I like the idea of a Lightyear movie being made twice, but it's there. It's there. I like their original ideas.
I definitely, I'm team original idea. The sequels, I feel, were retreads, especially Incredibles 2. I couldn't help but think, that was literally it was like copy my homework, but make it look like you did the work yourself type of, or I'm sorry, no, it was the let me turn in this assignment again for the same assignment that I had years ago. But this one, I agree. It's cool to build a mythos. Ideally, my mind goes to, all right, I want Woody's Roundup, 21st century. Andy's a grown adult. He's like, wow, they made Woody's Roundup with like Keanu Reeves. This is gonna be awesome.
Keanu Reeves is in Toy Story 4.
I know it's a layered thing. Real
right.
Quick though, let me introduce folks. We have a new Supernova joining us, and we want to get their opinions. This is the Lady Chrome.
Hi,
Sorry,
everyone.
I forgot to give you your intro, so that means we're just gonna make you record your own intros too for this episode.
That's fine.
Yes, welcome.
How are you?
Good,
Thank you.
good. What brings you to the table today? Why was Lightyear the film that you're like, I gotta be here?
The
for?
one, honestly, not about the universe, not about the Toy Story universe at all. Specifically, what the movie means contextually, like in our society. Like, I just think it's a lot of larger themes that we're trying to, just retcon in there into young minds. Like, I love Toy Story. I love it. But this spinoff is not it. We're not hitting it. We thought we were, but a lot of secret messaging that we're not really recognizing, like everything.
Ooh, I'm interested. I think we have a section for that we'll get to. So with that said, are you more of the original idea?
Absolutely, original ideas all the way. I mean, I love Turning Red. I loved, oh my god, I don't even know. Luca is fantastic. Luca was amazing. Even in that, if you like take the larger context, like, and apply it to society, I'm very much of, how does writing apply to us as people? How can we take their stories, not necessarily like in universe, like that's important too, but like, I'm like, what can I take away from whatever this story is trying to tell me? And Luca was amazing, fantastic. I don't know, I just love original ideas, original perspectives on the world. That's better.
I know, I hear you. I feel, and specifically you mentioned Luca and Turning Red. I feel they're, well, especially Luca. Luca was such a simple plot, but gave you so much from that simplicity that you have a film like Lightyear, and it's like, they strive to be different. They strive to be original, all in the same, and then all the while throwing in these other concepts. Nino, I feel you are probably the biggest Toy Story franchise that I know. Where do you stand?
Let me paint the picture for the folks listening. I collected Buzz Lightyears when I was a kid. I had the original Buzz Lightyear that came out that could talk with the Woody. I had the special edition gray and purple Buzz Lightyear, a Transformer Buzz Lightyear.
Is that the one with the clock on its stomach? Is that the one with the clock? Great. Okay, no.
No. It was a gray one, and it was like a tactical kind of deal. Then there was the actual tactical glow in the dark military Buzz Lightyear. There was the Buzz Lightyear that came out with the belt from Toy Story 2. That was one of my favorites, and I always had a habit of breaking the front shield like off. But that specific one, I was like, I'm gonna keep it on, just because I was so disappointed when they made the toys and it didn't go all the way back.
Oh yeah, they only went like halfway.
They only went half. I got so annoyed at that. I was like, if it's in the movie, why don't you make it? And another thing, and this is a sidetrack, but they never released Buzz Lightyear in the packaging from the movie until a couple years ago, like like a little bit before, like maybe 2 years before Toy Story 4.
Oh right, they had him in the ship now.
Yes, and I bought that. I asked my parents for that for Christmas, and you know what? It's on the shelf. I'm not touching
still have
them.
them all at your parents' house?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
I have them all in a box somewhere, but I gotta take them out and bring them over here and put them on a shelf and be like,
Oh,
that could be a background.
You're a real
Yeah.
Al McWiggins. You're a real Al's Toy Barn. You rather have toys be put on display.
they had
Is that living Kenneth?
They had their time to be played with, and they're played with. But that one in the box, I am not touching. That box means so much to me to finally get it.
He'll go crazy, like the prospector.
We could get into the deeper parallels that you got going here with Al. So with that said, you sound we're all Pixar aficionados. This movie, let's just generally speaking, were you satisfied with it? I for one, yeah. I mean, it was.
It's fine. It's
No,
okay.
it's
It's
not.
okay.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
No.
It's okay.
For entertainment purposes, if I feel like I could put a child in front of it and walk away and they'd be fine, it's fine. Like it's fine.
I mean, it had good things. It had like really good things in the film where I was just like, wow, that's really well done. The humor with a certain character, a certain four-legged feline.
great.
No, you can say, yeah, you can say if you're
Socks, best part of the movie.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I agree. Socks was
Yeah.
great.
The whole rookies were. I think the whole.
Yeah, the rookies. I think I enjoyed the rookies as well.
I have such an issue, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so across the board, it's okay. You could put a child in
I think
front
the
of it.
the max is we're at max.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So
That's
not
okay.
not anything grand,
It's
but not anything
mid-year. Yeah.
mid-year.
Not mid.
That's a coined phrase. We're coining it here. Okay. So with that said, for me, a big thing, and it's just a general sense, is that when you have a film like this, you know, this is the film that Andy was like, I gotta get the toy. I feel you don't push yourself. They didn't push themselves enough in this film. And I say this because, and this will open this discussion right now, this is not our first foray with Buzz Lightyear getting a spinoff. So yeah, I feel that's weird to me. I don't understand why you have a source material and you don't use it. Let's get into it. There was a spinoff earlier, years earlier, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, which eventually led to Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the show that premiered on or came on Disney Afternoon or Disney Saturday mornings. Were y'all familiar with the show?
I was familiar. I was more familiar with, I guess, the movie, because I don't remember the movie beat for beat, but I remember watching the movie a lot as a kid. The show, 50-50, because the show really only lasted like 4 months, I think. It had a 4-month runtime.
No way.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. It was something where, let me check.
They have they have seasons worth of episodes.
They did have a bunch of, I think it was like 62 episodes or something.
They had like 3 seasons.
I remember the show way more than the movie. Frankly, I had to be reminded that there was a movie. I was like, yeah, the one spinoff, the show.
Right.
That's all I remembered.
I am checking it right now.
And just so that we're keeping score,
I'm sorry.
The show toy.
Oh, go ahead.
I did have the show toy, Buzz Lightyear Star Command, Buzz Lightyear special toy. I had it. He came with voice lines.
Of Star Command?
Yeah, they had a toy. I had it.
You keep saying had. You don't have
Oh, I
Um,
have it. I do have it.
I double checked it. It ran from October 2nd, 2000 until January 13th, 2001.
What?
That's crazy.
It's
It has
ridiculous.
what the?
Wow.
Well, I will. If it's 62 continuous episodes, I guess they treated it all like really one season, and just let it keep going. Oh
Right.
wow, that's crazy.
I didn't believe it either because I was like, what? There were so many episodes of that thing. There's no way this ran for.
There's a good handful.
Right.
But- You know, I felt that did more with the concept of he's a space ranger than this movie dared to even try. Okay. If I were to make a subtle comparison, the show seemed more like a Star Wars-esque type of show. This movie feels more like Star Trek, if you get me,
Not
or
really.
Stargate.
I didn't
Maybe,
watch Stargate, so
but-
I didn't watch any of those.
I have no
I'm
idea.
pulling.
But-
How are you
my butt.
comparing it then? We didn't
Because
watch it.
I think of like Star Trek Beyond, where they're trying to get off the planet, and
I mean, I get. You know what? Star Trek Beyond. There is a glaring similarity between
Right.
that movie and this movie. Yeah. Yeah.
so I don't know. I feel when you have it's crazy too. The original, the director of this movie, Angus MacLane, worked on the original Buzz Lightyear series.
I couldn't tell. I wonder what he took from the original movie and put it in this one.
The biggest complaint I have about this movie is that it feels like a retread. It really does feel like a retread of the original Buzz Lightyear movie, and like beat for beat, like not scene for scene, of course, but ZURG having a twist, a very personal twist, involving Buzz. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But that was in the original film, because if anyone remembers, Warp Dark Matter was ZURG's apprentice lackey.
Yes,
Who was
right.
he was the Boba Fett. He was the Boba Fett. Yeah.
Was he the blue?
And-
He wasn't the blue guy, right?
Yes, he was blue.
He was the blue
No,
guy?
he was
Okay.
purple. He was purple.
Purple, blue, magenta.
He was a
And he
Star
has a
Ranger.
flame.
He was a
Yes.
Star Ranger, and then he betrayed them.
Yeah, and he had a
Okay.
flamethrower
Okay.
or an arm when he lost his arm.
Correct.
Agent Z. That's a dumb name. He really likes that name. There's so many good humor, like with ZURG specifically. In
It's
that movie.
quality. It's quality.
But then they had a technological robot who Buzz does not like at first, but then Buzz comes to rely upon almost like incessantly,
Interesting.
and that's XR in the original movie. And then there's Socks in this movie. There was the main rookie that he does not want to team up with is a younger girl who idolizes him as a hero, and wants to prove herself to him. And then there's like comedic relief characters with the janitor, the big janitor, Booster, and what do you call it? And then the other two were basically like, it was just a mix of like, you could say Booster was the guy who was clumsy, because Booster was clumsy and big.
You can. You
Yeah.
totally can. Well, also too, the rookies are all not like space rangers. Like he thought it was like an exercise boot camp, and then she's on parole. So circumstances would put them in the places that would lead them to be space rangers, versus only one of them actually wanted to be a space ranger.
And not to mention, Buzz's arc in this film is the same as the original film.
Make it look like you didn't copy my homework.
But is it copying if you did the same thing?
I'm sorry.
It's your work.
I'm sorry. Turn it in again. Change a couple of sentences so turnitin.com doesn't recognize it.
Right.
But it just makes less sense in this film, because this film, God, it just felt like a rehash, but not a good rehash. Like, I wanted Buzz, like, of course Buzz was always gonna be cocky, you know, Buzz was always gonna be, you know, the one with the ego, and he has to learn to let other people give them a chance and stuff. But
would you say in this movie he has an ego, or he has just a big like sense of self-shame that he just needs to like graduate like consistently?
Yeah.
Because in other renditions of him, yeah, he's like, I'm number one, I know what to do. And this one he's just like, I'm so sad. Poor me. I need to hurt myself to make everyone else feel better. Like
Actually, very similar now, I think, to like Doctor Strange. I got to put all the burden on my shoulder. It has to be on me. Y'all go live your lives. I'm gonna finish the mission.
Yeah.
I see a similarity. Well, here, look, we've been alluding to it, and I'm sure as we discuss what happens actually in this film, we will draw the comparison to the original series. So let's get into this. Buzz, he Star Command's on a mission in the Turnip, and what they're trying to find a new planet, right? Is that the thing going on?
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are you also confused as to why they're even on this mission?
Yes, yeah, I don't know what the mission is.
See? Okay, this will come up later. Wait, hold on. This will come up later. Watch.
Okay.
I was mildly confused because I missed like the first 5-10 minutes
Me too.
of
Me
the
too.
movie.
Okay.
I walked in because I thought, you know, there would be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of trailers like every movie has, but this one didn't. I guess not. And when I came in, he was on the planet already with Hawthorne and the Rookie, and they were doing silly stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, did I miss like 20 minutes of the movie? Because like
exactly
it was moving. But then
they just throw you in. They trust me, like they didn't explain exactly, but I at least when I was watching it with Evelyn, which is, you know, my kid, we were like, are they looking for a new planet? Are they like?
But what do you think, Ethan? What happens in the beginning? What's
so
the first 10 minutes?
They're on the Turnip. Space Rangers, it's their duty to go out first to make sure the planet is habitable and, you know, non-hostile. We meet Buzz. We meet your girl Hawthorne. I like her a lot. She's probably my new favorite. The one I like the most from the film.
Which Hawthorne?
The elder Hawthorne. I like the elder Hawthorne. I mean, I like Izzy as well, but I like their dynamic here. I like their dynamic. So either way, what the planet is not inhabitable. It is inhabitable because they have hostile plants and life, and they got to get off. And we see Buzz try to do the Buzz thing, try to be the hero, try to be solo dolo, and he crashes the Turnip, which has like 1 million people on it or something. So, you know, he's putting a lot of people's lives at risk for his own kind of, you know.
Yeah, and you want
superhero complex.
Yeah,
right.
And
yeah.
There's a point that I want us to think about, but he has like a total mistrust of like AI and autopilot throughout the entire movie.
Right.
Which I don't think is necessarily bad. Like, actually, I think it's good that he has that mistrust. And then by the end of the movie, he's like, autopilot and AI are good, actually. I should entrust my life with them.
I wanted something more with that. I thought they were gonna expand on like why he doesn't trust AI, because he does it like ad nauseum so much in the beginning of the movie. Like he's like, AI
killed my father.
I guess it's self-reliance. Like, I guess that you could call cocky. Like, knowing you could do everything stereotypical.
Right. I get right.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely adds to his character. Character, yeah.
Yeah, it gives me kind of like Han Solo, don't tell me the odds, never tell me the odds type of vibe.
Wow, so you're telling me a rehash from a better movie?
I wouldn't call it a rehash. If you want to use that as your inspiration, that's what I'd say you got going. He's like buy the books, but then he's like not buy the books. To what like you bring up a good point. He's so by the books in this film, but if there's AI, the books would be integrated with how to interact with the technology.
plot hole.
Plot, I guess. I mean, I think it worked. I see what you're saying. I don't know. Like, it's like that resilience to change and technology and growth. Maybe that's his whole character as a whole, you know?
Or maybe the people who made this film had an agenda to be like, technology's good. Download Facebook. Let them get your information.
Trust AI.
Trust
Skynet.
AI.
Trust Skynet.
Okay.
Trust the
The
US,
Matrix
the US
isn't
R5s.
Humans make mistakes.
Yeah.
AI doesn't. You're all.
Oh, well, you know, actually with socks at the end too, you know, where other socks makes the decision. You know, the AI was like, this is probably the smarter thing to do. You can make the argument. But yeah, he crashes the turnip, jeopardizes this whole colony of people, and now they're stranded here. And the only way to get off is to reach hyper speed, light speed, to shoot around the moon, but they need a working crystal. So he's the test pilot. And then what's the gimmick here?
Every time he flies, it's 4 years.
4 years.
Which I hated that they incorporated that into the trailers before release. Because, you know, before it was, it was the more recent trailers were doing it. But like early trailers for Lightyear, you had no idea what the movie's going to be about. You know, it's Lightyear. You know, he's going to be in space, doing space stuff. But there was no time travel element. And then they just threw it into one of the trailers. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm 30, 20 years in the future. I was like, what? Why did you do that?
Well, I'll give them some credit. So I know which trailer you're talking about. It was like he had jumped 60 years and they show Izzy and she's like, oh, you knew my grandmother. Now with
but that implied one jump.
That implied one jump. So I like it here. I like the every 4 years he was going.
I think it's fine in the movie. I just didn't like that they told me it was gonna be there.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been a cooler element. That would have definitely.
It would have been. I think it would have been better if we didn't know about it and then we got surprised with it, like, because then it kind of reinforces the idea that Buzz is making a sacrifice of his own life. You know, for everyone. Like, that would have been an interesting thing just to be in the movie, but. You know, all you needed to show us was that ZURG was going to be in it, was that robots are going to be in it, was that there's going to be a laser that he shoots. That's all you needed to. That's all you needed to do.
This shot behind me, that's all I needed to get hyped. You know, Lightyear shooting the laser, ZURG. We didn't know ZURG was going to be in it, and I mean, it's Lightyear. You kind of assume in a way, but like we just didn't know. When they dropped the design, I'm like, oh my God, he's in it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see him. And then we saw him. And we'll get into it.
I mean, the upgraded look is cool.
Oh no, yeah. I still like the upgrade. I mean, it's cool. I like the classic design, maybe a little bit more, but you know, this hulking robot figure.
It fits the times.
I like
It's good. Oh, but you know what? I'm not gonna skip around, but when we get back to ZURG, remind me to make that comparison to the Darkhold that y'all brought up during our multiverse of madness.
Sure. Fine, by all means. Oh, but I like the 4 year jumps at a time. How did y'all feel looking at you know, like Hawthorne and her life go by, and Buzz is just, you know, still gung-ho?
I thought it was one of the nicer elements of the movie. It was somewhat sad to see, you know, Buzz just fixated on this mission that he views as his fault, and he's seeing someone throughout their years live their life, you know, Hawthorne.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought this was one of the better moments. I was getting kind of teary. I'm like, oh, come on, Buzz. Like, can't you see it? So she's living her life. She's having kids, grandkids. The kids are graduating. I mean, it was nice. I thought it was one of the nicer elements of the movie.
Oh yeah, and
Can we talk about how they never upgraded her to a bigger place? Like, they were...
that was so weird.
Same room.
That was a one room. 3
Is that a
kids.
one- it's a one
three
room?
people, yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
Remember
all right.
Buzz's?
and a
Remember
dog
Buzz?
at one point, right? And a pet.
They have
at
a
some
dog?
point?
Something, some sort of pet. Yeah.
Oh, and
Goodness.
she became the commander of the whole Star Command of that
And
base,
have
right?
the same room, same place.
Equality amongst
Or
all ranking
humility.
members.
Humility.
There you go.
She's humble. You know?
It could be that.
Could be.
or
you know?
also too, I think a big overarching theme of this was, stop and smell the roses, appreciate the life for what it is and what you have.
Mhm.
All
I
she
feel
needed was
that.
her family,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
but
Yeah.
I definitely, I feel I enjoyed everything up until the last jump, like this build up. And yeah, it is sad to watch Buzz kind of not look at what's out there, in a galaxy beyond. You can't see what's right in front of you type of ordeal. So I like that as a character piece. That was probably my favorite part of the film, was this watching of the parallels of Buzz keep going and Hawthorne keeps living her life. And then that was so did anybody get teary-eyed when she was like, "This is probably my last message"?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I know
It was pretty
Captain
good.
Falcon got teary-eyed during that scene. I didn't, but I was like, this is what I wanted though. I loved this.
It was effective. It was effective for what it was
effective.
trying to do.
It was
Right.
very effective. So concept aside, he does one final jump, and it's his last jump. And what, now he's 14 more years ahead, right? Or something.
It's 14?
Because they reached the hyperspeed. And so it stopped being a 4-year jump.
That
That's
one was
why-
20 then, I thought, right?
Oh,
It was
20. Maybe it
years?
was 20. Was it 20?
I could be wrong.
It was
I
something.
It was more than 4.
it was more than 4. It was more than 4, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And so-
because the last time we saw the granddaughter,
yes, she was
was
like
Well,
a
so it
kid.
must've been like,
Baby.
yeah, 16 or something.
yeah,
Right.
and then she was an adult by the time he came back. So
Right.
Right. And now we have what's already a similar post-apocalyptic type world. Now it's even more post-apocalyptic because now we have this flying ship, and it's ZURG, and he's
yeah, and it just, I feel like this plot was done better because I don't want to get into ZURG yet because we'll get into it, but
It's big. Zurg is big.
just a question that I have to pose. How come the robots were like attacking that base? They were like, let us in,
oh yeah, I guess
I-
what did he want from that base?
I guess more
Ability to make a
resources.
crystal or something. Yeah.
That's what I assumed. We never got an answer.
But why was he like
Uh,
constantly attacking the base? Like it was under attack. Like the robots were out for blood.
I guess because of the shield. We didn't mention this other guy. Burnside.
Burnside. Yeah.
Oh,
Burnside.
you mean a black loudmouth commander of Star Command, just like in the original movie?
Oh,
Whoa,
wow.
he's darker skinned. I don't know if he's black though.
In the original movie?
Yeah, I don't think he's black. He's darker skinned.
You know what? I'm counting that.
You're counting that?
I'm counting that.
Sure.
Because wasn't he voiced by? Let me see.
Oh, I actually looked up the voice cast like the other day. He's not anybody prolific in voice acting. Not that I could tell, but yes, the copy and paste,
It's there.
yeah, it's totally there.
Burnside. His logic is what?
I don't know. That's not I don't know.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. What's up?
I mean, yeah, he's just darker skinned. I don't think he's black.
Oh, okay. Yes.
But that's not. I don't think that's
Either way, I was like, there's definitely a similarity here. Another similarity to add to the pile.
Well,
How might work without changing much.
Can we just call it what it is? It's literally a way to be like, it's just nostalgia plus new audience equals, we're gonna resell you the same thing, new package, and you're gonna love it, you're gonna eat it up. And that way we have more people. It literally is baby Looney Tunes. We're gonna have more people.
Baby Looney Tunes. That had some good episodes.
Or just the baby craze.
The
where
baby
like...
concept. The baby concept where you have like a whole series going on and then you turn them into babies so that actual babies can be like, wow, I remember that, and then come back to the series and relove it, and continuation, keeping the generations interested is all it is.
It's the reverse. It's the reverse Rugrats when they make them all grow up.
Yes,
Ooh,
exactly.
Yes.
That is.
Exactly.
That is.
Which, I mean, maybe there's a deeper message here as far as, because he's all like, his whole thing is no more space exploration, right? We're wasting our resources.
We're just going to cut our losses, make the shield town, the shield city, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, it's not a bad idea as far as,
Right, just make your own little bubble and just live in that bubble, I guess.
Setting your roots, just standing firm in the ground. And
are we gonna hold on? I'm not sure if we're gonna come back to that, but what I mean, I completely disagree.
It definitely comes back at the end.
So this was the big thing that Kenneth and I were discussing. I was like, and the entire time since I didn't watch those first 10 minutes, I was like, shouldn't they be trying to get back to Earth? Like, what isn't that the main like objective? Like, aren't they trying to get back out? And then like rethinking about it, no, they're just trying to get back into space. What's the primary objective for them even being on that planet, even doing space exploration, even like why they leave?
Yes.
I think having not seen the first 5-ish minutes, my assumption was at some point I was like, okay, they're not trying to get back to Earth. I think they're just trying to get back into space and find a new planet, because they realized what they're on right now, it's the planet with the vines, the vine tentacle.
You know what that's
things.
called? That's called colonization.
Oh no! What are we doing?
I mean, but that's the thing. We don't know why they left. We don't know their mission.
Coming from someone that saw it from the beginning, from the very beginning.
I promise you, they came upon the planet, and then Buzz woke up and said, "We got to see if it's habitable," which means sounds like they don't have a place to live. If we're going off of just,
it sounds like Elon Musk financed this movie.
That's exactly it.
And he said, I need to make people believe that AI is something good that we can do, and that colonizing Mars and blowing up the Earth is valuable.
Who cares?
Just
Who cares why we're in space? We're in space now, and it's time to colonize planets that aren't ours at all to begin with, because we fucking suck as humans. That's it. That's all it is.
Is this you, King?
funny enough, actually, the more we talk about it, this is also very similar to the plot of Avatar, the blue people.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
wow.
They were on a big ship.
Yeah, it is.
They came upon a habitable planet, started
Humans
colonizing.
Hostile environment.
Right.
Why humans always think that they're entitled to going places where they don't belong.
Wait a minute.
Why?
Hold up. A lot of people
You
in
know-
charge in this film are darker skinned.
Oh,
You know what's funny too?
just because
Like,
we put a new face on it doesn't make it the whole
Well, I was
thing.
gonna say
Just
the
because
one.
we put a new thing on it
Well, I was
doesn't
gonna say
make it.
the one who ruins it all. What's his complexion?
oh my God, it's funny because they never. I mean, unless I missed it, they never really confront the problem of the plant life being hostile.
No, they
on the
just
planet.
They live
Laser
with
shield.
Laser shield.
And
But
then
the
he
plan-
drinks his coffee. He's like, laser shield. Like something like that. Like
Yeah,
at the end of
it
the
was
movie.
literally that. It was literally
Yeah.
that in post credits.
It's funny, like literally the planet was rejecting them, and they were like, "We don't care."
They're so dumb. Why? Why is the planet
We're
hostile?
staying here.
Like, yeah, why could the planet possibly be hostile?
And it
Who
depends. Like,
knows?
what is hostile, because they in the beginning you see it as like something serious. The vines are trying to attack them, pulling them away, but then there are other parts where it's like used for comedic purposes. Like they'll pull one of like the pilots and they'll be like, oh sorry, and they'll like get sent away. I'm like, okay, so to just pull them outside and let them go? Or
But how interesting that for plot devices, it has to be a hostile planet where they're just trying to make their way poor little humans are just trying to live their lives here. Why won't the hostile planet let them live here? No.
Nobody asked the
We
question.
don't belong here.
We need to use the laser shield. We need to build the wall. That's all I'm saying.
Bad
Oh,
planet
oh,
means
boy.
we punish.
Oh,
Oh,
Burnside sending that message too. That's important.
yeah.
But just, I'm telling you, that's what I mean by retcon. It's like, no, we see what you're doing here. We don't agree. We don't agree with the foundation of this. Why are you here?
I appreciate that a conversation can come about at all from, this plot device. Because, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It makes it interesting what could be going on in those directors' heads as far as what they're really trying to get across here. Let's dial it back to...
And we're going to dial it back. Are we going to dial it back to Buzz's arc? Or?
No, we're going to get into the rookies. So, the robots are attacking the shield and he meets these rookies, and want to tie it back to Buzz's arc, trust in others. And again, it's very similar. I'm thinking it's like Doctor Strange. Take the burden off, share the burden, or trust in others. You don't have to be, what was it? The one who holds the knife.
The knife.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What y'all think of the rookies in this? Because as we said before, this was the plot of the Star Command
original. Yeah. And then Buzz is literally in front of ZURG in that movie, and he's like, Buzz Lightyear mission log. If only I had help. If I had one partner, or two, or three, and then they're like, he needs us, and goes back. That's exactly what this movie's about, literally.
I like the scene where he realized that they're actually rookies and not trained veterans, and he's doing the Buzz Lightyear mission log, and he's like, Buzz Lightyear mission log, I'm on my way to fight the ZURG Empire, and I have no assistance, and he's doing it right in front of them. I have no assistance whatsoever. But no, yeah, I guess I like the characters as like what they are. I just wish they had more, I don't know, like just something like
depth.
like
Some depth.
more depth. Because Taika Waititi, I thought he was kind of silly in some moments, but then others, I'm like, that wasn't that funny, man. I don't know, like the whole pen thing. It was funny when the joke at the end is, oh, look, now it's useful, but like they did it a little bit too much. In my opinion,
classic.
It was excessive.
That was definitely a modern Pixar joke kill, that they're like, we're gonna force this joke to happen. So
I hate to be that person. Like, yeah, can we make kids laugh at higher comedy, but also kids movie? Kids laugh at repetition. Ha 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 ha. Same thing happening over and over and over again.
All I'm gonna say is that, you want to know something? We went with a kid, and the kid did not laugh at the pen.
And that's important. If the kid's not laughing, it ain't funny.
Well,
the kid was like, "What pen?"
Well, okay. See, I find so that's the character Mo. I find him funny because it seems like they built that character for Taika. So if you don't,
100%,
if you don't buy into the Taika eccentricities, maybe the kids won't laugh. Because I find it funny because that's his type of humor. But
I found him funny when he wasn't doing Pixar mandated scripting. Like, I found him funny when he was just like being himself, being Taika.
He was kind of like ad-libbing a little bit.
He was
basically.
ad-libbing.
Right.
Being Korg without the, sorry, mate. You know what I mean? So
how come he has an accent when they've lived there for 60 years and they all, wait a minute.
Oh. Well,
wait, are they in cryo? They're in cryo. Oh,
well,
wait, no. He's
a new generation.
Humans,
right.
Unless his parents both have
Could be that. Could be that.
Yeah, both of them are New
Zealanders.
Zealanders.
Right.
You think he'd lose it though, after having interacted for so long?
That depends. Are they homeschooled or do they go to a school?
They could be homeschooled.
This
is my headcanon.
So many layers. Like, for example, what's the parole system look like for Darby?
Exactly.
What's the jail system look like? Why is she on the
jail?
Why is she on the ship? Why is she on the ship to begin with?
Yeah.
Why would you take a criminal on a ship?
And she's older, so she's like
Well, she's not. No, she's like 50 something. So she must have been like a child of somebody that was there.
Maybe. Maybe.
She was put in cryo, in jail cryo, just to be awakened to put in real jail.
Oh my God.
Now
They
serve the
brought her
rest of
along
your sentence.
as an
You
example.
criminal.
But they said this is what you can turn into,
Oh my
and
God.
this is what we'll do to you if you don't follow orders.
Oh, it was a rehabilitation program. They're like, all right, you're gonna go on this space journey, and if you can keep your
Oh, yeah.
hands off of some explosives, we'll give you time off your sentence.
Do we want to count the other robot in the squad?
Socks,
one
yes,
that-
socks.
No.
Oh,
The
the
other
other robot?
Yes.
They left him behind.
That was
They
mean,
left him.
man.
That was
He was
very mean.
They
trying.
really
Yeah.
did mean. They really did.
And he
Apparently
was
they-
really trying.
We missed this. What do you call it? Post-credit scene. But he was still talking, and then he turns around and then he's like, "Oh."
He figured it out at
But-
the end. He figured
But
it
then,
out.
yeah. But here's the thing. That would make me want to feel good or feel bad about AI. So yeah, immediately he gets turned into.
Oh my God.
Make him feel bad. Make the
They're
robot
He was a
feel bad.
sentient
humanizing
being. He
him.
was they're telling us that AI is going to reach a point of sentience where they can feel emotion, and you
Socks
should
is
feel for
sentient.
them.
Socks is
You know what they
sentient.
can also feel?
Socks is
So-
sentient.
The warmth of our bodies while they put us in the Matrix, and that's what's gonna happen.
Oh boy.
It will
But
be in
on
the
a real note,
squeakquel.
Can we talk about like the symbolism of the rookies? How like the rejects are the ones to make like this top role model see that like, oh, they have some sense of comparison within each other. Like they can find grace within their mistakes together,
Sure.
even if they're not from the same, cut from the same
Right.
cloth. Like
Yeah.
there's that greater example. I like that.
I did.
I feel like Pixar is doing this a lot though, where they're like scrolling TikTok and they're like, what are teenagers insecure about? And they're like, let's put that in a movie. And so they're like, what are we dealing with? What's the zeitgeist like? What's the emotional zeitgeist going on right now?
Ooh, I like that.
And they're like, like generational trauma. Not Pixar, but Encanto. What are we talking about? Perfectionism in minorities. Turning red. What are we talking about? Being gay. Luca, being gay. And so in this one, I feel like they're trying to tackle, generally, like patriarchy, like.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I think we
lost
may
them.
have lost them a brief second.
That's okay.
Um,
Oh, I'm very
go
curious
ahead.
where I was curious about the patriarchy comment and where that was going.
oh, was that what that was going? Patriarchy?
they were about to say patriarchy. Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been
Dang,
interesting. I mean, we'll double back once
We'll
she
get
comes
them
back
back.
on.
What the Lady Crumb was saying, as far as like, I was thinking, what do you see in Izzy? Izzy has the whole family, kind of inheritance to where she doesn't feel she can live up to the expectations
Right, of her grandmother.
of her grandmother, right? And her grandmother was a very prolific person in all of this, and she was regarded as one of the best space rangers. That's a lot of pressure for someone
It
in
is.
now this war-torn, thing, and she's got to step up.
Especially
she has
someone
a
that's
fear-
afraid of space. Oh,
She's
go ahead. You were
afraid
gonna
of
say it?
space. Yeah,
What do
she's
you call
afraid
it?
of space.
It was something. Oh my god. It was they had a name for it. Something phobia.
Vacuum phobia.
Was it vacuum
I don't know. I
phobia?
don't think it was vacuum phobia.
Okay.
Sorry, we lost y'all. We didn't know where you were going. Well, I mean, we didn't know where you were going to end with the patriarchy comment, but we started talking about Izzy and living up to the family expectations.
Yes.
What are your takes on that?
Sorry.
Oh, you're
Ghost
okay. You're
coming in the
okay.
room.
Izzy and
Ooh.
familial expectations.
I don't know. I feel like each one of the rookies has something to sort of overcome in their own sense. Like, I don't know what is going on with Darby. I don't know what they need to overcome. But definitely Izzy. Yeah, Izzy just needs to get over that expectation, like specifically, and like I mean, general minorities, I don't know, I can't speak, for Black people, but like that concept of like the people before me did something amazing and I need to live up to that. I need to be that same person, and that concept of expectation. Well, maybe they all have that. Maybe they all have expectation as like their big, like, I got to get over that so that I can achieve my purpose, and some of them is like personal expectation, some of them is like societal expectation, some of them is generational expectation, something like that. I don't know. Somewhere along those lines.
For sure. I definitely feel I like that for Izzy, because here Buzz is supposed to be, kind of that lending, guiding hand to help her, give her that extra boost, and that is not what he is at all to any of them. Whatever any of the three have to overcome, Buzz is not that for them at all.
Absolutely.
Like the antithesis of it.
So wait a minute. Oh, there's a moment in the film talking about, this is a little off track, but it involves the rookies, that another forced Pixar humor where they had meat sandwiches.
Oh god.
Oh,
meat.
Yeah, that
meat,
was
bread, meat.
Kind of unnecessary.
It was a little excessive. Like
that's more of that forced Pixar.
No.
They really made Taika Waititi say that.
Well, I think it was just because they were like, we're going to introduce like a very serious concept. Sorry, the table keeps doing a thing. We're going to introduce a very serious concept, which is like grace when you make mistakes. That's a very serious concept, and we're just going to cut it with something absolutely absurd, so nobody realizes that we just like did some soft therapy like in this movie really quick.
Because it happened in the same scene where like they're talking about the sandwiches, and doesn't like Will's character bump into socks, and then he like glitches
like,
out.
Oh my god, I could have killed this, and instead, Buzz is like freaking out, and instead they're like, wait, hold on, let's take a moment, and like it was okay, it's a mistake, we can understand our mistakes and work past them, but we're not going to do that by like being extra hard. And that's when Izzy's like, right, Buzz, like we can do it this way instead of the way that you're accustomed to, like, yeah.
But here's my issue with this whole thing, and that it's like it's not done well enough to the point where I'm like, oh, it's integrating well in the story within the Lightyear, that I'm like the space epic or like the space story that I'm expecting. It kind of felt like it was shoved in there because they wanted to make it deeper, when ultimately I came to Lightyear to see some robots get blown up, and to have catchy one-liners, and and of course you can always integrate them in the movie. I just felt like there was such this movie was trying to be two different things. It was trying to be a space like serial with Buzz Lightyear at the front, and then it was trying to explore like a personal, deeper connection, which I don't think it meshed well. I don't think Buzz's arc was well done to interact with the rookies. I really felt that if you dropped all the rookies off somewhere and removed them from the movie, this movie would probably be better.
Well, okay, so Andy saw this movie in 1995, right? And this inspired him to get the Buzz Lightyear toy. Are you inspired to get a Buzz Lightyear toy watching this movie?
No.
It shot lasers.
I'm not gonna buy any of these Buzz Lightyears.
And
this is from the Buzz Lightyear collector. Nope.
What I'm saying, I think in 1995 you don't have this. I mean, I take it's live action for Andy. You don't have this introspective film about personal connections in 1995.
Are you even gonna have a lesbian couple having a baby?
No, absolutely not.
Revisionist Disney history.
Exactly.
Interesting. Is that why they maybe took out? Because remember how they took out that scene originally? Before the whole,
and they brought it back, right?
And they brought it back. Was that Disney? Are we giving too much credit? Was that Disney trying to be authentic to 1995?
You think that was a stunt? You think that was a stunt?
No, I don't think it was a stunt. No, I think it was just them being Disney and saying, no, take it out. But I mean, if that wasn't in there, it's like, oh, okay, it's more authentic to 1995 standards, so that's why we're doing it.
The whole concept of making a movie that was supposed to be a movie that existed in a different universe, and then we're seeing it, and then
in a different year. that's parallel
That's
to
a big-
ours.
I
What?
honestly feel they did
How-
not have to say that, and I wish
No.
they kind of.
No.
Yeah, I wish
Wait,
they
the
didn't say
Andy,
that.
the Andy thing.
Yeah,
That they saw?
Yeah.
they did not have to
Okay.
say that. I wish I didn't say that either. It just, I feel like I have to go so far deep into like my imagination to be able to reach this movie in a place that I'm like,
You want to
and
you want to talk about like being pulled out? Pixar officially did like an official illustration of. They didn't say it was canon or anything. They didn't say if it was like, oh, this is how it went. But they drew Andy from Toy Story 1 in the theater with all of his toys taking
Oh.
up seats next to him, and he has the little green aliens. Makes no sense.
Wait,
How does he
wait.
have the
Woody?
Oh my god.
He has
no.
Woody. He has all the toys. Buzz obviously is not there because this is the movie he's going to see for the.
Yeah.
And then he gets
the
it on
toy.
his birthday.
Then he gets it on his birthday.
Jesse's not there, is she?
Jessie, actually, is she? No. I don't think she is. I don't think
Okay,
she is.
okay.
I could be wrong, but
Wait a
knowing
minute.
how-
Wait a minute. See, I don't like that because now you're telling me the toys didn't know that Buzz was coming.
that
they-
made no sense. But again, it goes back to they drew that without saying this is what Andy did when he went to the movies. It's just like a little silly illustration of him going to the
Gotcha.
movies to watch it. But a lot of people pointed it out and said, this is very bothersome. I don't like that I see little green alien and Woody there as well watching this movie.
I also don't like the fact that they make Andy seem like he can't go anywhere without like 10 of his toys.
They're taking up seats next to him.
Right.
It's
he must have
ridiculous.
paid for them. He must have paid for those seats.
He had
His
to
mo-
have paid for the seats.
listen, his mom had a what do you call it? An entire house that she was moving to. She had two houses at some point because she had to
Right.
move out of one by herself. Andy's dad, don't know. Life insurance check came in. She had a baby and Andy,
Ooh.
and she hosted a party full of Buzz Lightyear. Like
She held it
She
down.
did. She
Yeah.
She
did.
held it down.
God knows what that one was. That must
There, the only saving grace for that drawing and its headcanon is that this is Andy going to see the movie again after Toy Story 2. It's still in theaters, and he goes to see it again. And Buzz Lightyear is having an adventure in like the projector room where he's like fighting off some other toy while Andy's watching the movie with the rest of them, and Woody is just watching. Again, it's a mess.
How
It's a
many
mess.
imaginary hoops am I gonna have to jump through to be able to be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense? Like wait
More
a minute.
hoops than what Buzz had to jump through in space. More hoops.
Was this three rings?
3 if you count how many times he went through them, which is like
Oh,
100.
yeah, right.
More,
right, right,
more.
right. Oh, okay, yeah. Definitely makes it deeper. Last of the rookies. Let's talk about Socks. I like Socks. He's a fun character.
The best part of the movie,
I mean,
I agree.
easily.
Captain Falcon agrees too. I enjoyed him. I know.
Don't you dare. He is the best.
I
He's
like.
the best.
I already said I like Hawthorne the most. So Socks is probably second.
beep boop,
There you
beep
go.
boop, beep boop, meow meow
That
meow
was
meow,
silly.
meow, meow.
That was silly. I love
That's
it.
the humor I was looking for. Like
Yeah, and that wasn't forced humor.
That was
It
not
wasn't.
forced, right?
Sox's humor throughout the entire film is consistent. It's also character driven because he's like an AI, and also it's just not. It's good. Like all the other humor, I feel like some of it is like really forced. Like it's really Pixar-y forced. Like like they kind of force it in because the kids
Right.
movie. But this Socks was so good. Like it was like I was like at first I was like, oh, I'm not down just to have another animal companion in this movie. I still have flashbacks of Soul, of
Thank
the
God
animal
they
companion
did.
in that movie,
don't even.
quote unquote. But what do you call it? I was like, oh, you're relying on it too much. Socks came in and blew my best part of the movie. Like that, if I ever watch this movie again, I'll watch it just to
God.
enjoy Socks.
I think we also find it hilarious because it's like, think about it. Like, they had to build a cat because people were so distraught about not having like their animal companions, and then the cat is like immensely intelligent and waited for him.
It
for
made the
64
core.
years. Yeah, it was everything. It was everything. He was everything. We love him, and that's why it's easier to laugh at him because it's an absurd character. You're like, yes, absolutely.
I like the silliness of it because he's the one that perfected the fuel source for Buzz to make the hyper jump, and Buzz is like, flabbergasted by him. He's like, "Oh my God, Socks, you actually did it!" And he's like,
Well, when
it only took me 62 years.
When he challenged him too, though, he was like, "Not unless you can make a light speed crystal." And he's like, "Quantum physics? Let me see."
I would watch this movie again just to see Socks. I agree with Nino. I would watch it again just for that.
I mean, just visually too, it's funny to watch. He's doing the hairball thing. And
it's
out comes a light, a torque flame.
Torque flame.
Yeah, and then the darts too.
The darts.
Oh my
Were
God,
you gonna
yes.
use that on me?
Only if you ever got out of line.
And he's like, you got 5 minutes.
I got you 5 minutes. A line used twice and effective both times.
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's funny. That's a funny repetition. Like that was good.
I think it also made that scene better with, ZURG, because ZURG was just so bad in his scenes that when he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna remember the good joke. I'm gonna purge my mind of the bad. It's okay."
Right.
A welcome addition. Now, here's probably a polarizing topic. ZURG.
Polarizing.
ZURG.
I think a lot of people agreed that ZURG was just bad.
I'm indifferent. I don't I mean, there are parts I don't like, but overall, I'm
okay with the
wait a
design.
minute.
What?
We're
okay?
here.
You okay? Oh.
We're here at ZURG.
Yes, we're at
I have to
ZURG.
remember.
We're
I
talking
have to
everything ZURG.
Everything ZURG.
So wait a minute. You brought up in our multiverse of madness.
I know where this is going.
About the Darkhold being a plot device, bad plot device.
Talk to me.
Let's talk about the bad plot device of older Buzz, who is ZURG. Sorry for spoilers, but older Buzz, who is ZURG, finding an entire ship with robots, with a big robot thing.
I agree.
It is.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going.
Biggest plot hole ever.
He
I just went into space and found an entire colony of random obedient robots, and they just love me, and now I'm coming to terrorize myself. What?
I didn't because it was in the middle of the exposition dump where he's explaining everything about how am I here? How is there an older Buzz? They made a quick line where it was in reference to Toy Story 2 where he's like, "Father, is that you?" And
yes.
I was like, okay, that was silly, but no, it's not him. It's a Buzz from the future. And he was giving his exposition, and I thought I missed it, but I guess it's like what you just said. He just came in from his time, found just a ship of robots that were obedient, did whatever he said, and he had a mech suit already just there, waiting for him to step into. That could fit him.
Yeah.
And it's like, is there some lore to this? Like maybe if it's owned by someone else, the real ZURG, maybe the real ZURG comes in.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I was thinking that could happen is that they're gonna do another movie where they explain what, and then now this is the new Buzz having a fight. ZURG,
this is the traditional.
Okay.
That's an interesting concept. I just hate that we had to sit through this movie to get there.
We're saying this about the movie wasn't telling us this. We are saying
if we don't get credited in this next movie, I swear to God.
Well, there's a lot of kind of sequel building here. Y'all saw the third. Did you see the third?
Yes.
We did not, but I read it.
I was walking out of because the second post-credit scene was the robot giving the directions still at the end. I thought that was the last one. As I was walking out of the theater, I heard some loud noise from the back. I'm like, what? Are they showing the next movie? What's going on? I ran back in and I saw the post-credit. I'm like, wow, a lot of people probably missed this.
Because it was
I didn't see
after
that.
like they brought up the Disney castle.
Yes,
again.
when you would
Yeah.
naturally, even people that stay after the movies to watch after credit scenes, they would have walked out at the robot part, the
Yes.
second part.
Mm-hmm.
I walked out. I almost missed it if I
What
didn't
is
hear
it?
it.
What happened?
Oh, he's floating in space. He's alive.
Zurg
Yeah,
is.
Zurg.
Oh,
Old Buzz.
You see his lights come on in his eyes, and it's like, oh, he's coming back.
But here's the issue that I have. The toy in the Toy Story universe says it's evil Emperor Zurg.
And he's already the sworn enemy of the Galactic
Yeah, sworn
Alliance.
enemy on the box.
It did.
says-
It said that. And how do you call it? Buzz at the end of the movie, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but you mentioned the line about him being an emperor. He's saying the box description at the end of the movie.
He is.
Gamma Quadrant Sector 4, and I was waiting for it because I'm like, you mentioned Zurg in that description, the Emperor Zurg. So what are you gonna say? Completely omits Zurg from it. He just says any enemy of the Galactic Alliance. He does not mention Zurg in that description.
And Zurg is such a heavy part of Buzz Lightyear lore that they've just like
He's the villain. He's the main villain.
And I hate to do the comparison of the original
You
or
can.
even the source. Zurg is this over the top villain who has personality. In this movie, it just feels, and you know, they got a lot of it right at the beginning when we didn't know, like
The
when
mystery.
he's like, yeah, when you see he sends all the things and then they all get destroyed and then he just slams the table with his fist. I'm like, classic Zurg.
He
then-
would do that to his own console.
Yeah, and then he opens up and it's old Buzz and I'm like, where is Zurg? This is not Zurg. Like, if they bring him back for another movie, it needs to be like, oh, you stole my ship. I don't care if it's another timeline. I'm gonna make you pay and give us classic Zurg proper. This is not Zurg. This is Buzz Lightyear masquerading as Zurg.
See, I don't like the alternate timeline thing because it doesn't make sense to me, because I was trying to write it out for Captain Falcon like Doc Brown did for Marty on what happened. I don't know at what point the timeline diverges, you know?
I guess when he's in hyperspeed.
Yeah, when he first gets to hyperspeed when he gets the successful, because he says that he lands and Burnside is there already, and he comes to arrest him. That's where it stops.
Well, then I guess he created his own new timeline by becoming Zurg. That's the whole reason why. I guess that's the reason why he attacked. Here we go. That's the reason why he attacked.
Oh, so when
because
he attacks,
it stops Burnside from showing up.
Coming up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because he's
So
in the
he can
shield. He's in the
intercept
shield
himself.
town.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he can intercept himself.
all right.
I will say I do like the negative and the positive, whatever, the two timelines, simply because you can see like the moral decisions. You can see like, oh, this is Buzz if he decided to continue with his toxicity, and this is Buzz who actually has a community and learns his lesson. You know what I mean? I do like that. Like, and him fighting himself, like his old self and his new self. I like that. I like that thematically.
Let me rephrase. I like it now that you made it make sense for me, because now I
Good.
understand.
Well,
Yeah, but no.
I was just like, oh, that, like how time works. I'm like, wait a minute,
Right.
but then yeah.
I just don't like it because I want Zurg. You promised me Zurg. I didn't get Zurg.
You gave me this
Listen,
seat in the
this-
back. I
This,
want
this headcanon that we just came up with, I like that. If that
I
is what's
like-
It's
going
not even
on.
headcanon. It's just how it happened.
No, I
Yeah,
mean, if the actual Zurg sent the ship
Oh, okay, right.
for Buzz, I like that. That makes sense. That's cool.
I do like that, and
Well, I didn't say that, but
Yeah.
we still don't know where he got the ship from.
No, we
Yeah.
don't.
But
We don't.
There's the mystery. And
There's the
actually,
mystery.
they actually touched on why the robots were calling him Zurg.
Because they
The-
can't
'cause they
say
can't say
Buzz.
Is that so? That was why, like, he told them his name was Buzz, but they just said ZURG.
Yeah, I don't
right?
buy that. I'm now buying into
I
the
feel like
real
that's tied
ZURG
to,
is
like,
out there.
Yeah, okay. Potentially, if they, God forbid, do a Lightyear 2 or a series,
Another one.
But it just kind of feels like if you made me sit through an entire movie and then at the end feel unsatisfied, and then you need an entire other movie to come and make that movie better, that to me that's like
a problem.
All movies need to stand alone.
Right.
Connected to everything.
For this movie, for what it offered, I'm upset. I'm disappointed with how they handle ZURG and his things. It's okay. Like,
Can I just say one thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but again, with the anthropological centrism, who asked the humans on this random planet to be the Galactic Alliance? Who asked them to be space cops but themselves?
Who said
you? Who said you, please?
Okay, so and this is where unfortunately the source material is at fault here, because there was always the source material was always propaganda. It was always cop propaganda with the Space Rangers. Even the original series kind of had that air of like, oh, it's a military, it's cop, it's these ideas that are rooted in like 90s capitalist America.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a fault with the
source.
source.
Had like the glorification of like military.
Yeah,
like,
and even how
we're
they
in the military, we're soldiers, we're fighting, but it's cool, and also space.
And also just like having a higher chain of command, them being called rookies, like it's all in the source material.
It's funny how they're very egalitarian in like the society, but not so much in the very fun. Anyway, that was it. Who asked them to be cops? Who said?
No, you raised a good point.
They live in a democratic society.
Society they've been out of touch with.
Based out of everything.
Right. They don't know how long society has moved on without them being on that colony, and now they're coming to say, "Hey, we're running things. We're protecting the galaxy. You need our protection. Buy in. We got you."
Star Command.
Right. Star Command. Look at the name.
Yeah.
Why you got to command the stars?
Yeah.
And also, if they were stuck on that planet for so many years, how come they have like a quadrant named, and like it's just a lot of things. If this was gonna be like the introduction to Star Command, like as well, like why? Like Space Rangers already exist, Star Command already exists, but also why did they have to go to another planet and get stuck there? Wasn't there help? Can't someone go help them?
I think you have a series of they didn't realize less is more. For example, you think you have to explain the origins of ZURG here. You think you need to explain the origins of why Star Command needs to be.
He did not need depth at all.
Well, in the original, again, they treat it like the Spider-Man Homecoming syndrome. Here's the characters you know. This is a story. We're not going to waste time explaining all this. We don't need, like in the original, you don't really know the depth of Buzz and his friend. What's his friend? Warp. The one who.
But it comes through in the interactions they have with each other.
Exactly.
So they're like, oh, what do you call it? They're like, oh, do this routine. Oh, like always, and they have this like a bouncing off of each other.
Right.
And the world building's a lot better in the original too.
Yes, agreed. For example, did we need to see how the laser came to be on the Space Ranger suits? Did we need an origin for the laser?
I thought it was fine. We didn't need it, but I like the aspect of like the Ranger suits were like kind of like a dummy down version of what we got later. And then, as Buzz is going on in his adventure, he's kind of just slapping together random things on his suit to like, for whatever the situation is calling for. He needed to free up his hand, so he's like, all right, let me wrap this bad boy up, and he starts shooting. He starts shooting like on the toy, and I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was that big a deal. The wing part,
it.
the wings, I thought that was kind of cool.
That was really cute. Also, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I disagree. Like, if anything, I wish this movie gave me all the lore that we were always missing.
Right.
You know what I mean? If this is Andy's introduction, if this is what we're saying, like if this is the premise of the premise, right? I want to know everything. Like, I don't want these random loopholes. Like, I want a galactic story that tells me why this is this and that is that, or this is the end, you know, or even just like this is the beginnings of everything. Like, I don't need to know the entire thing, but like the laser, like, oh yeah, the laser came to be because etc. Or this came to be because whatever. I don't want more. I don't want to get into it more. I want explanations. Like,
and it's just weird because this is gonna tie into like our callback discussion, because there's stuff that they don't explain at all. Like there's stuff that they don't explain at all, and like especially with like the involvement of the suit. And then there's stuff that they do explain. Like they explain the laser, they explain the wings, but then when they call back to Toy Story 2's video game, when he's going into the planet's atmosphere, you know, at the beginning of the video game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't explain that the suit can do that, but then they do it at the end when he's trying to like hold up the ship from not crashing.
Right. I mean, there were some callback, like some of them just seemed like little Easter eggs at first, and then other ones were like, oh, so that's where that line came from.
Majority of them were Easter egg in.
Right.
But you know, it kind of makes me, there were a lot of them were Easter eggs, but then I'm like, damn, so it makes me view Toy Story more negatively now, because I'm like, damn, Buzz just came with all these pre-recorded lines and then he's just saying it in these perfect situations to the toys. I can't mesh with it because there's like the "you're mocking me, aren't you?"
Yes,
there was
that was the standout.
There was a good visual, that they did with Buzz looking through, like you see through Buzz's perspective, you see his reflection through
So I think you missed
Right.
that, Dr. Jace. If you missed the beginning,
He didn't do it later in the movie with the helmet?
No,
he did it when he first
okay.
got on the planet. He did.
yeah.
Like, and then he did the whole bouncing around.
Oh, on the bed. Oh,
Yeah, on
come
the bed. Yeah, he
damn,
did
I
that.
would have liked that.
And
my
that's
first one was
good.
"You're mocking me, aren't you?" That was the
Yeah.
first line I saw. I was like, oh wow, that's from Toy Story. Got it.
I'm just a fan of. I like explanation. The suit is not something I needed an explanation for.
okay.
I'm like, and when
you
I
didn't
look
like
at
the surrender button? There was no wingsuit before. It was a surrender button.
Yeah, I did. That was again forced Pixar humor, but also they took it from the original movie. Except that in the original movie they had it on the ship. If anyone remembers, they were like, "Oh, we have a water, an emergency landing, and then the ship gains a whole bunch of bubbles, and then they crash land on Zurg's homeworld."
I don't
That-
oh gosh,
that's-
vaguely.
I need to rewatch it again.
Vaguely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that-
it's not on Disney Plus. I would have loved
Which
to
is
watch
on
it.
weird.
YouTube
Why
for
don't they
free.
have it?
It's only an hour. It's on YouTube for free with no ads.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. So yeah, that pretty much wraps the film. Did you find the ending satisfying? At least, I guess not.
what-
We're saying,
Okay,
how dare they enforce
Again,
their
maybe
will?
maybe I missed this scene. I missed a lot apparently. Burnside just gives him like what authority over a big for no reason, right?
They saved the day.
I
They
guess
saved the day
He saved the day
He saved the day, but then
From himself.
from himself.
from
Yeah.
himself.
he kept
Which-
that out of the debriefing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, will he disclose that? That
Oh, God.
Hell no, he's not gonna disclose that.
I was the villain
He's
and
the-
the
you know
hero
what?
the entire time.
He's the only one that knows. That
yeah, the
that
rookies
was
don't
Buzz.
know. The
No.
rookies
Yeah, and I
wait.
doubt he doesn't
Doesn't
tell
Izzy
the
know?
No.
No.
No,
Didn't Izzy see?
No.
no,
He's
because
back
the
in the
only
suit.
knows.
yeah,
The audience knows. Yeah.
the audience knows. Socks. Well, that Socks is dead.
Yeah, that Socks
he
is-
stepped on him.
But didn't the original Sox see it either?
No,
He said
he
there's
didn't.
They said, oh, there's 2 Buzz life signature. I'm getting 2 readings for Buzz, and then they never question it. They were just like, we gotta blow it up.
Let me triangulate. Now there's only
Wait a minute. So Buzz Lightyear never tells anybody that he's the whole reason why they almost all died.
Would you?
And then takes the position of power, and it's just like, this is perfect. Like, this is
he learned his lesson. He learned his
redemption.
And then it gets even better because he's like, and then to get on my team, I'm gonna take a crew with barely any experience and the robot cat, so that and then go off into space.
But the robot got a little suit.
Experience is the best teacher. Now those
he's sending them to their deaths. He's sending them to their deaths. They're gonna be like, Buzz, we're running out of oxygen. Don't use your pen.
Oh. No, but I'm just okay. Wait a minute. Now that I, oh my god, I don't know how I feel about that.
Buzz is the real villain in the entire movie.
He is the real villain because, oh my god, because I don't know.
If they don't bring in the real ZURG, that means he's the villain, and if he's ever gonna address it, say, hey, by the way, that's actually me that we're fighting. Like, they could do some dark stuff where they actually defeat that ZURG in like an actual battle, and you see like the helmet or whatever, like the chest break open, and there's like old Buzz like dead or something, and they're like, Buzz? Is that you?
I'm just so confused. Like, so basically, did he ever really learn his lesson? Like his own internal saboteur?
He did.
Yeah.
Because he says he's done trying to find a way off the planet. He says he's gonna live his life. Because old Buzz was like, turn back time and
to fix his mistakes. He was fixated on just doing that, and because of that, he couldn't live his life.
Right. And then he's like, Hawthorne would never have a family. There would never be an Izzy.
Well, yes. So I mean, that's one of them.
Yes, that's one of them. That one's good.
That's one of that one's good. Yes, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the greater moral compass of Buzz Lightyear in the fact that he was just like, I almost killed everybody, but I also saved everybody, which makes me the hero. I don't know. That's just me.
I would like to think he would disclose.
All done.
He did not disclose that. They would not have given him that position.
I think off screen.
Win.
He keeps a mission log. He
has a mission. Okay, he has a mission log.
The mission log.
Who is that going to? Who's that going to?
Well, somebody's gonna find the recordings. I don't know. I feel.
Oh my god.
He is not telling anyone that he is
so crazy. This is so crazy.
Dark Command would not give him that position of power if they knew.
No, they would have. No, they would not have if they knew.
We will see, because they really are trying to build to a sequel.
They are sequel baiting.
Listen.
They are sequel.
Buzz Lightyear is the type. What do you call it? This is the type of since there's a lot of cop analogies in this film. Buzz is the type of cop who'll be like, I'm just gonna turn off my camera right now.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
There was those memes where it was like the posters where he's walking forward and people were saying, he's gonna ask you for your license and registration. Those were funny. I like those. Because he looks so menacing, just walking towards towards you on the poster.
I want to say again, for kids, fantastic. Like entertainment, yes. Greater emotional significance. Like, I just feel like they got the smaller, like, emotional, conversations. They got those perfectly right. But like the setting of where these are happening, colonization, cops, what's it called? Defeating your inner self, but then telling nobody so that you look good in the end.
And then you get authority and power.
And then you get authority and power.
Good.
No, absolutely not. That's what
this is for freedom and democracy.
They said the children ain't gonna notice this, so we're good.
You want to know something? I'm what do you call it, to relate to your boy, our recent boys podcast? Buzz would be at that Homelander rally.
Oh my gosh.
Get a blast.
Oh.
Oh no.
I don't know. That's tough.
He would stop Homelander.
Yeah, he would not be on Team Homelander. Come on. Homelander's a racist. Can you imagine Buzz Lightyear being saying, "We will never have a Muslim in Star Command"? like that's the shit Homelander says.
That's what Homelander says. Homelander does say that.
But can you picture Buzz Lightyear?
Buzz would not say that.
No way.
No.
Maybe Woody. Woody lives in Backwater West. So.
Ooh, did Woody have to be undoctrinated from his racial background from when he was created?
Correct.
Ooh.
You mean it?
Yeah, because most cowboys in westerns, at least, most cowboys in the western movie, in the western genre, were former Confederate soldiers.
Ooh.
See? Woody's Roundup
Roundup.
spinoff. See, let's do it. Let's tackle dark themes.
I mean, but they all kind of. I mean,
they do.
Nothing exists in a vacuum. So that's why I'm like, this movie really wants to be it, and it's just we're starting off with colonization. It ain't it. That's it. We're just gonna completely start. We're gonna question everything there on forward, but that's just my take.
No, you're fine. I think it's fun. Honestly, the Pixar writing room, they're like, no way they're gonna pick up on this. No way.
No one's gonna ask about this.
You're not gonna. They're gonna be like, oh, they left Earth. Thank God humans are. They're living somewhere else now. That's great for us.
Right. It's the whole. Oh, instead of dealing with our own shit, let's pack up and go. And
isn't that the exact isn't that in contradiction to Wally's message?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wally's my favorite movie. Wally
Wally
is my favorite movie ever.
Right. Wally said we need to go back and clean up.
Damn.
That's why my child is named that way.
Is this movie now ruined because you remember Wally?
I like Wally.
From Pixar. These two are Pixar movies.
You could dare say Wally is another ship out there, and this is the turn up went this way. The Axiom went the other way. You can make the connection if you want.
If you want. Yeah.
It could be.
Because we don't know why they left Earth. We don't know.
We don't know.
The Axiom was civilians, and the turn up was like military.
And look who's a fool now. They're on a planet that doesn't want them, and Wally's people literally have to came back and was like, wow, we can
I just think
rebuild.
I just think this whole concept of like, oh, we're just gonna leave where we were because we like messed it up and go somewhere new where they're just gonna have to accept us because we have nowhere else to go is very like white settler mind state. So I'm like, not for me.
Look who's at the helm of these films. Not saying Pixar is not branching out in other areas.
You can have okay.
They're branching out in other areas. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward. Maybe this is
18 steps back.
Yeah. They try to make a personal film in a Lightyear movie and to make it about deeper themes, you know what I mean? And to like have still stakes. But in the end, they fell flat on their face because they didn't understand, or maybe they did understand how much harm in the concept there already was.
The worst part is maybe they didn't even see a problem with it. That's where I'm like, eek.
This did not raise an eyebrow. That's true.
They said we gave you the what do you call it? The gay kiss. Now you'll now.
Did they even kiss?
Okay. Yes. Okay. I was gonna say this. Let this be the last bit before we do like our final scores. I didn't even see it. I blinked. I missed it.
I did not see it. I saw them together. That's it. And I'm wondering, like, what were they taking out? I don't get it. Like, what was out? I'm guessing this entire scene of
Captain Falcon said they kissed. I missed it. I
did not see a kiss.
In the beginning, like when they first were introduced and they're like, this is my wife. We met, blah, blah, blah. Could it have been then?
I feel like it would have.
It was in that sequence.
But I did not see it. I just saw them, hand on shoulder and
it baffles me because I'm sure many people missed it. And yet, you got countries banning what is probably like a millisecond of a scene, and then Disney too.
I know exactly when it happened. When they were closing the door and then they go to turn and they kiss. That's when it happened.
Okay, they need to get off this high horse and just understand the times and be decent people, because you got Eternals. Fastos is having a whole makeout session with his husband, and I don't think that was met with any flack from Disney. And then I guess because this is the demographic, the age demographic.
I mean, it's also because it's two women. It's also because it's two women.
Oh,
it's
yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's a
You
big
can.
Could be it.
Yeah,
Right.
and also, what do you call it? I feel like Kevin Feige has a lot more say and a lot more like power at Disney, you know, because he's like, I made you billions of dollars.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna let me.
You're gonna take my gay kiss and you're
He's
Yeah.
He's like,
And then with
they're gonna have a gay ass kiss on screen, and you're gonna like it.
And then with Pixar, I feel like Disney's like, you make us money, but you are still like, they bring out the whip and they're like, get back to work, you animators, do whatever. Like they treat Pixar like
Cash
something
cow?
they for like toys and stuff. They
Right.
don't take it seriously, even though Pixar kept them afloat for many years.
That is true. They had. I think that was like one of the only few controversies with the movie. You know, pre-release.
Yeah.
Right. Final scores. Do we want to go into that?
Yeah.
I feel like we covered all the major bits.
Yeah. Let's wrap this up. Mid-year, I guess.
Mid-year. I mean,
mid-year.
It's
the thing is, I'm more harsh on the movie because it's Pixar, and I expect quality from Pixar. It's not your Illumination Studios. No flack for people that like Illumination movies, but you know, I have a standard with Pixar. They're the top of the line. It's Pixar, and while it's not Toy Story, it's touching on their magnum opus to a degree. That Toy Story is their bread and butter. I feel like whenever they revisit Toy Story in any capacity, whether it's an official Toy Story sequel or a spinoff, they give it the care that it needs.
yes.
I feel like those two things together, I was not met with that expectation in the movie, so I'm a little bit more harsher than that. Yeah, it was just all right.
Yeah.
It was serviceable for what it was, and that's the most I could give it. And it's a shame because I was going in.
Wait, did you give it a number?
Like between a 6 and a 7.
Yeah, it's like a high 6.8, 9.
Yeah, that's
7.
That's the most. 7 is being, for me, generous. That's being generous with the movie. I thought it was fine.
I give it a 5.
Ooh,
maybe
okay.
even a 4.
Woo!
Sure.
Like, there's just too many issues for me, like analysis wise, to give it anything higher. I do not.
Where is silly ZURG?
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. The Lady Chrome.
I wanted to say 6, but then in discussion with Evil Buzz still being evil at the end because he doesn't really atone. Just the gay kiss to colonization exchange. I don't know. I want to say like a 5.5, like a 5.5.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I think
mid.
Yeah, that all forms the mid comment. It's mid tier. Pixar, yes, the bar has always been set. They have delivered aplenty and have fallen back aplenty. We need them to just keep knocking it out the park. But I give them props for being experimental. This is the first spinoff, first actual film spinoff. So
I'm welcome to it.
Yeah, I give them points for trying. Maybe they're playing it, too close, or maybe not enough close to the source material, and that's why we have kind of a clashing of ideas. But nonetheless, I think the kids will enjoy it.
It's better than Monsters University.
It is. We'll come back.
Monsters University.
Oh, actually, I'll say this.
We have the tier list.
We have our Pixar tier list coming, so y'all need to tune back in for that. I will address that. I haven't watched. I only seen Monsters University once.
Same. And then I rewatched it.
I need to rewatch it. Yeah.
What's your number? GrandMaster Hoop.
I'm pretty sure Turning Red is still number 1 if I revisited my list correctly.
Your number for Lightyear.
This it's like a 6.9, and that's me being fair. I should just give it a 6.
It's generous.
It's very generous. I mean, real quick, shout out to Chris Evans. I didn't think he did a bad job. Kiki,
I think he was fine.
Yeah, and Taika. But voice performances I think kept me in it, so that's good. But that is it from us here at the Yonkō Table. Shout out to DrJaceAttorney, the Lady Chrome, and for their first time, the Lady Chrome, and of course Nino Desplazado. Listen, folks, we coming at you with more here at the Yonkō Table. Stay tuned weekly. Make sure you follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we got some cool stuff on TikTok. But if you want to watch our faces, YouTube, and thank you for listening to your various podcast stations. And of course, if you want to join the conversation with us, and if you have thoughts that conflict or agree, of course, join the Patreon, join us in the Discord. We'll see you there to continue the conversation. But that's it for us in Lightyear. So we'll catch you next time. So take care.
Mid-year.
Bye.